Today's video is brought to you by Squarespace. Stay tuned until the end for a special offer. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to today's oil painting time-lapse. And also, I'm so excited to hear that many of you want to see more art school related content. Although this painting was not filmed or painted during class, I definitely painted it using some of the knowledge I learned in class. And even though first-year students at my school are only allowed to do charcoal drawings, my teacher was kind enough to let me sit in on some of the painting demos, or sometimes when he's working with the second-year painting students, I would kind of lurk in the corner and just eavesdrop on what he's teaching. And just even in that very indirect way of bumming free information off of the painting students every now and then, I feel like I was able to learn so much more about oil painting just in these last 2.5 months than I would have if I had been self-teaching for an even longer period of time. So while I understand the importance of making the most of the drawing curriculum and learning as much as I can because drawing is such a good foundation for painting, I'm also extremely eager to start the oil painting curriculum, if you couldn't tell already. Even though I've only been in school for 2.5 months now, and I know I haven't gotten even close to scratching the surface of learning everything I need to know, I'm already noticing a significant difference in my ability to self-critique and just the way that I can spot mistakes in my work. As you all probably know from my earlier pieces, I primarily do fantasy type paintings with very exaggerated non-human proportions. And even though I'm not saying that I'm only going to exclusively do photorealism from now on, there is some merit in being able to draw and paint from life, and also just be able to know what the correct proportions are and what proper human anatomy looks like. I think one of my biggest weaknesses from my past works was that I didn't quite have a firm grasp on human anatomy, so even when it came to distorting certain body parts or certain facial features, I didn't know how to stylize and distort them in a way that looked correct, if that makes sense. For example, an artist who has the proper training and foundational skills and knows how to render an anatomically correct arm can choose to stylize and exaggerate the length or the size of the arm of whatever character they're rendering and still have the arm look correct. It could be an extra long arm, an extra short arm, an extra muscular arm, but it's still going to look like an arm. Whereas for me, I feel like in the past, when I didn't have a firm grasp on anatomy and I didn't really know what an arm is supposed to look like at all, regardless of how long and short and wide my arms were, none of them looked like real arms. They kind of just looked like hot dog sausages or cylinders. So yeah, I think in the past 2.5 months, it's not like I've perfected the ability to render all the body parts perfectly, but I have developed an eye for spotting when they don't look quite right or when there's not enough detail or polish. So I'm hoping that at the end of this program, after I graduate, I can still continue to do fantasy style art. In fact, a lot of the graduates from our program and current students do fantasy art for their careers. But yeah, I'm just hoping that even with my exaggerated alien proportions, I'll be able to know how to do that type of stylization in a way that feels more correct and just polished and comfortable to look at. aside from anatomy and proportions, I also realized that some of my oil painting techniques that I had taught myself through trial and error were not the most efficient or possibly the best way to do things. For example, for a while, I didn't really see the point of using mediums other than to glaze, and I realized during class that if you incorporate just a tiny bit of medium into any layer that you're working on, not just for glazing, it makes the paint so much more spreadable and reduces the streakiness, and the coverage is just so much more like smooth and opaque. Also, in terms of storing paint, I realized in the past I have just been wasting so much time constantly remixing colors because I didn't know the proper way to store my paint. And also I was wasting a lot of time cleaning my brush between every single time I wanted to load a new color, when in reality you can just wipe your brush on a cloth. If the colors are similar enough, you don't have to actually clean your brush thoroughly every single time. So yeah, just all these small tricks I've picked up just from my limited few months at the atelier have drastically helped me streamline and improve my painting process. And I'm so excited to continue to share my knowledge with you all and continue to finish this program and learn even more. Anyway, that about wraps up today's video. If you'd like to see a 60-minute version of this tutorial along with a color mixing and paint storage demo, feel free to check out my Patreon at patreon.com/happydartist. And also, if you'd like to adopt this original painting, she is listed in my shop at happyd-artist.com. And on that note, I am still having my 20% off sale that I've been extending since last year's holiday season, so why not just continue it? So for 20% off of your purchase of prints and originals, including the one you saw today, just enter the code HOLIDAY at happyd-artist.com. If you're interested in learning more about how to paint and draw, I have lots of art educational content on my Patreon page, including exclusive video tutorials, step-by-step photo tutorials, live streams, podcasts, and even surprise art gift boxes. All available at patreon.com/happydartist. I'd love to have you join my Patreon family. I wanted to quickly thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video and for supporting my channel and the art community. I've actually enjoyed using Squarespace for 4 years now to build and host my online shop and website. So whether you need a domain, website, or online store, make your next move with Squarespace. Start your free trial today at squarespace.com and visit squarespace.com/happydartist for 10% off your first purchase. Also, if you want to check out more artworks, works in progress, and just random daily artist adventures, feel free to check out my Instagram, and you can follow me at the handle @happydartist.